So here are 5 rules for you to follow for small screen design. Number 1, focus on context of use. There's that phrase again. When are people using this app or this site? When they're stressed, when they're bored, when they're busy, when they're lost. The available features and functions, whatever you build in there and the way that they work, the way that they look, their degree of accessibility, the position of priority they take on the screen should fit the situation. What is the context of use? When are they doing this? And what are they doing in that moment? What are they trying to accomplish? Number 2, simplify, simplify, simplify. Yes, that's a joke that it's there 3 times. Okay. Each screen should contain one primary action, no more. That means every screen should provide something useful, meaningful, and valuable. This makes the product easier to learn, easier to use, easier for you to add to later. And I also want you to abandon the idea that the number of screens or steps matters, because it doesn't. All right. This comes from the idea that people, will only click 3 times before they give up. It's a desktop thing, right? We've been hearing that for, 15 years. It wasn't true then, and it's not true now. People will tap, click, swipe 1,000 times if every one of those actions delivers something valuable back to them. I'm showing you the lift screen on purpose because while a lot of people use it, there's just way too much going on here. I have no immediate instant sense of what I'm looking at. I sort of get the sense that there's a car that's 12 minutes from my location, but what about these other cars? Are all those cars available? Are only some of them available? And in this interface, you actually have to tap, or you can tap on these cars to get information. Well, what happens when they overlap? Like this one on the far right. How can I tap both of them? I can't. These little icons down below, lift, 4 seats, 12 minutes, plus 6 seats. What if I don't know what that means? Does that mean there's a car with 4 seats? What's the difference between that and plus, aside from the seats? It's getting to something, but it's making me work to interpret what that is. The set pickup, that's great. Primary action, big and bold in purple, has the most contrast. Well done. That's the way that should be. Okay, but there are a lot of sort of ambiguous things happening on this screen that all are sort of working against each other to some degree as to, how to figure out what's going on here. Number 3, you have to design for thumbs, not fingers, which a lot of designers do. You have to design for thumbs, all right? Can people use their thumbs to do the majority of the work? The right answer to that question is yes. It's always yes. It should always be yes. Stephen Huber did some amazing research on mobile device usage, and he found that the vast majority of people rely on one or both thumbs to interact on their phones. Okay, that means you have to place menu items, frequently used controls, and common actions within easy thumb reach. That's the reason you're now seeing a lot of bottom menus, navigation menus, on apps and mobile sites, because that's where our thumbs are. Related to that, you also have to design for fat fingers. Controls and their associated tap targets should be a minimum of 9 millimeters, which is 48 pixels in diameter. Anything smaller than that is really difficult to tap with any accuracy. And here's what happens with people. If they tap on it once and it doesn't do anything because they missed the target, their immediate assumption is not, I missed the target. Their immediate assumption is, this damn thing doesn't work. Anything smaller than 48 pixels makes it very hard to tap easily and accurately. So you need to provide ample space between targets so that users don't accidentally tap the wrong target. I showed you the lift screen a minute ago. You see how those cars overlap? Here's what's happening there. A developer is saying, well, that's actually where those cars are. That's what the map data tells us. The right question to ask there is, how do we represent this stuff? How do we make sure that there's always X amount of space between icons so that people can always tap on one or the other? It doesn't matter at that point how geographically accurate they are. What matters is that I can tap and get to what I need to get to so that a pop-up or whatever can tell me, hey, this car is 20 minutes away from you, okay? Minimize the need to type. Even in the best of circumstances, typing on a phone is a pain, right? And quite frankly, even on a larger screen, even on a tablet, it's still a pain. Because of the position of your hands, because you have to hold the device and use it at the same time in most cases. It's not like we're on a laptop where the laptop's on a surface and you don't have to hold its weight while you type. All right, so this is difficult, period. It's a slow process that's almost always filled with errors, so the less it's needed, the better. That means you keep your form short and simple. It means that you're ruthless about removing unnecessary fields. It means you use autocomplete personalized data wherever possible. The app remembers who you are, what you did. If you do something all the time, it should remember those things as well. You want to make the technology do more so that the user can do less. So UI design mantra number 5, as part of our little introductory segment here, is on small screens, less is more.